Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're running back the mono blue list that I trophied with earlier this week. I have made a few changes. First, I like Astrologian's Planisphere a lot, but it doesn't really suit the deck. We don't need an aggro rushdown strategy. I think what we need is just even more resource accumulation. So I think Tamiyo is great for that. Tamiyo is also great at distracting opponents from attacking your own life source, and being able to debuff creatures is very relevant against these go wide strategies. So I think we're going to try running 3 Tamiyos. We have plenty of ways to flip her if we want to. And then what I did was I went down to just 3 Dismembers from 4, and I added Piracy Charm. I didn't even know this card existed, but I saw it in some modern mono blue lists, and essentially it's a multimodal card. Choose one, target creature gains Island Walk until the end of the turn. That could make a Murktide be able to attack through other Murktides or other flyers. But what I'm really excited about is target creature gets +2, -1 until the end of turn, which is perfect for killing opposing Bowmasters. It can also kill, opposing Brazen Borrowers and Delvers that haven't yet flipped and DRCs and stuff like that, but it's really just a convenient 1 mana answer to Orcish Bowmaster, which I'm really excited about. So I put 2 of those into the deck. The final mode is target player discards a card, and since this is an instant, you can even cast that during their draw step after they've drawn before they get to use the card. So it's pretty much a guaranteed 1-for-1, which I like. I don't like playing situational cards. Dismember is the only situational card in our deck. If we're up against like a creatureless deck like lands or something like that, this may be truly dead. But or if we get down to 4 life, it's dead. But we do have ways of shuffling it back in. But other than that, the deck is just bangers. Archmage Charm, so sweet. Last time we stole a Merit Lage token from our lands opponent. And hey, here, that 2020 indestructible, now that's mine. Yeah, pretty awesome. I simplified the sideboard. I think Dress Down is much better and much more flexible than Torpor Orb, so I just maxed out on dress downs, and I just made the sideboard very simple. So 4 Grafdigger's Cage, 4 Force of Negation. I am playing this pre-June 30th bans, so I presume that something is going to come out of Oops, and probably something's going to come out of Blue-Black Reanimator, and maybe we don't need to play 4 Grafdigger's Cage, but I think it is correct right now. And then 4 Hydroblast. We don't have a lot of removal in this deck, and a lot of the red strategies go pretty wide, and I just want max interaction for red decks. We're going to play a full 5 rounds. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against a Stoneblade player. I like this hand. This is fine. Archmage Charm can potentially steal a Calder Complete token if they go the Calder route. We have early Tommy who can draw out interaction. Thoughtseize. They may just take the Tommy. Yep. All right, Druid Island, not very exciting. We are playing 18 lands plus 4 Lorians, but this is an aberrationally large amount of lands to be drawing. Wrath of the Skies to the graveyard. All right, Brainstorm. I think this is a window to Brainstorm. They may daze it. I don't think they want to daze this back to their hand. If we find a fetch, it's so good. Or a Lorien Revealed. All right. That's great. I'm going to put these back for sure. Now I could just go get land number 3 with Lorien Revealed. Shuffle those other lands away. Actually, I probably should have kept one of those. Yeah, I think that was a misplay to put one of those back, but I still want a Lorien Revealed and be mana efficient this turn. We have a Ponder to find another land, and that'll put another instant in our graveyard. I am a little worried about Bowmasters. We don't yet have an answer to it. Opponent hasn't done anything over there. I presume they have Bowmasters in hand. Another Dismember. We can just Archmage Charm when they Bowmaster. It's an instant. So I do think they're probably going to want to do something here. No? Well, they're being very patient. If I Archmage Charm, it's pretty bad for me. I think I just need to wait and Ponder and then Dismember. There's a Lorien. I can just keep... I'm just going to keep Archmage Charm up. All right. We're just chilling. You may be like, "Whoa, that's so timid." You're 1 mana away from putting a winning Murktide on the table. Yeah, but they're going to... Until we get up to 5 mana and we can protect the Murktide with a Archmage Charm, I don't think it's good to go for it. Our opponent is being timid too, which is in our favor. I think we're the bigger control deck here. They do have a lot of 2-for-1 type cards, though. I'm assuming, again, that they're on They probably have Planeswalkers. We can take a look at their recent list. Oh, so they were previously on Jeskai, but a lot of Stoneblade players will alternate between Jeskai and Esper. They both have their relative merits. Him. I think I just counter this. If they spell Pierce, it sucks. They're on 4-color. Pyroblast main deck. Mad Lad. Well, that's pretty good against us. Okay, they just stripped our Dismembers, which actually may not be bad. Like I'm thinking now that they're on like some giant like creatureless strategy. All right, so now we have what we need to Murk and protect Murk. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the island now. Let's go Dismember, Archmage. I'll leave a Lorien Revealed. We're gonna go max size though. This way, if they fetch, they're dead in 2 turns. All right, so we just Archmage Charm this. Hope they don't have further interaction. This card is so freaking flexible. Like, what a great card. All right, and if they can remove it, we're screwed. But if they can't, like, they had it. Okay, I mean, we're down. We haven't. They have 2 for 1 just once. They haven't gone up in cards. It's just that the him 2 for 1 does. We have more lands on the table than them. I think that's why we're down a card. No, I don't actually know why they have. I think it's just the him. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this first. We want to find another. We don't want that. Back to basics. You're not going to be able to tap very many of those. They do have the ability to go get a land here. They're fetching now. Okay, they have a plains. So they could Prismatic End this. I think I want to put the Lorien Revealed on top. Yeah, if they find like a Prismatic Ending, it'll be really sad. Yeah, that Back to Basics is probably the best thing we could draw in that situation. And they have another land as a final card, so we are going to be able to Lorien Revealed here, which is great. Mystic Sanctuary, so good it's banned in Modern. We'll take the Lorien. I was tempted for a second to take Archmage Charm, but they may not flip her. But taking a flipped Tamiyo is one of the great joys of playing mono blue. Let's draw us 3 cards. All right, and yeah, we can just do the same thing next turn. I probably should have put the Polluted Delta in instead of the island there. Strix, that's fine. We will eventually clear it. This is something we can kill with Piracy Charm if we draw it. I'll be much more comfortable once we draw an answer to Prismatic Ending. Because their mana is locked down for the rest of the game, they're not going to do a lot. Cling, yeah, that's fine. You want to tap that down forever just to draw a card and flip her? Be my guest. She's not going to get you where you need to go. They don't have... Actually, they could reroll a Pyro if they have another red source. Yeah, that could be troublesome. All right, that's not a good draw. Let's go ahead and draw 3 cards here. Our own Tommy is pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play her out. I can dismember this if I need to. I've got tons of life. I want to lull my opponent into false sense of security first. I don't think that was a good attack. They should have held it back just to deter. All right, Borrower just answers this. I think that's what we're doing here. I can just kill it when it comes back down if I need to. Get a clue. All right, and I think I just pass. Okay. Back to basics. Absolutely did it. We would have been buried in card advantage had they had access to their mana. So that was important. I think we could bring in a couple Hydros. They're like old school control. I can't believe they have main deck Pyros. I think there might be room for dress down in here. Let's see how many cards we can cut. I think we just cut the Dismembers completely. I didn't see anything. They may play like Triumph of St. Catherine or something like that. Piracy Charm is not for this matchup, but I mean, maybe we just got lucky and we didn't see Bowmaster. Maybe we keep it just in case because Bowmaster is such a pain. Yeah, I'm not sure about like these Hydroblasts. I know Dress Down is going to be good because they have Belfast. Yeah, I'll just go into 1 Hydro. Actually, we have 3 Dress Downs. I think I'm going to bring in all of them and just ignore the Hydro. Yeah, maybe like it's not for this matchup really. They're playing red and they will get some good exchanges. But like our deck is just really well tuned to be able to beat these types of decks and go over the top. This is a good hand. I don't love it, but I can force pitch force. The way you can tell who's winning these types of matches is usually like who has more cards in their hand. So 2 for 1ing yourself to stop something is not super desirable. All right, I'm just gonna play her. If they want to interact, that's fine. She's a sacrificial lamb, really. Like, she forces action. Sure. End step brainstorm. You do you. They may have a Lauren revealed. They're playing a pretty eclectic mana base with some non-islands. They were thinking about Strixing, I think. Lauren revealed's fine. There's nothing to write home about. I'll just play this island out and we'll attack. All right, clue achieved. We will not crack it in. We'll wait till the Bowmaster comes out. I'll force Bowmaster. It's worth forcing. It crimps our deck so badly. I don't care that much about Tamiyo. She's already replaced herself, but Bowmaster is just such an ordeal. They could be playing Days. I'm going to be forcing anyway. I don't think I need this other force. Maybe it's Cavalier of me, but I'm going to have Archmage Charm. All right, and I missed a window to crack my clue, unfortunately. I didn't have a stop set in my end step. This may actually be a blessing in disguise. My opponent just surgicaled my force, so it's good that I force pitch forced. This is not how you play Magic, in my humble opinion. Like, you don't throw away precious cards to hit cards that are already in your opponent's graveyard. Well, I'm not going to draw force here, so I'll let this happen. So that's a 2 for 1. Yeah, I think Surgical is the most overboarded card in Legacy history. It is not that great of a card. All right, so I think the simple thing to do here is to just attack and brainstorm. I could save this Scalding Tarn for later. I mean, I can always shuffle with the Lauren revealed if I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and attack, and then I'll just brainstorm. All right, that worked. So we'll put back Mystic Sanctuary and Island. We have more than enough lands. Then I can Lauren revealed. Now I kind of wish I had played out the fetch. I was like, oh, I can just with Lauren revealed, but it actually would be nice to not have to do that. They could be playing Oppo Agent. I don't think there's harm in just cycling now. Been a while since I played with Tamiyo. I mean, she's obviously very powerful. Are they going to stifle me? Is that what's going to happen here? No, just surveilling. I presume they have Prismatic Ending, but we have already gotten a card off of Tamiyo here. And that's a Prismatic Ending they won't have for my eventual Back to Basics. They have not heeded what happened last game. They're still playing tons of non-basics out. I imagine they have a basic island and we saw the basic planes. They have Kaito. Yeah, they do. So this is annoying. Yeah, I would have been able to ninjutsu or dress down here had I played the fetch instead of had to. Yeah, so like that little punt of not playing the fetch and playing the basic island has already cost me a lot. Okay, so they're gonna surveil. So they have already gotten a 2 for 1 off this. Our deck is not really set up to be able to beat him, unfortunately. I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, we can just bounce him back to hand, but they can redeploy him in a couple turns. Please surgical me again. Surgical me as many times as you want. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to plus Tommy here. That is a good draw. We can't do it yet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little bit of like value here. I'm going to borrow this back to hand because that's when I can do it. And then when they play the Strix, I'll just dress down so they don't get the card for it. This is like a multi-turn kind of like value denial plan. Well, I'm going to go ahead and dress down here just in case so they can't play the Strix later. It sucks. Like, they're not going to... Well, I guess they couldn't play... They would have to have Black Man anyway. Then maybe that was a punt. Okay, we lose... Hopefully not Murktide. Okay, that's not bad. Those are cards that fuel Murktide. That's fine. She was a good distraction. All right. Options. Could brainstorm. See what we find. Murk is not the hugest. 1, 2, 3. So he'd be a 6/6. If we can get him up to 8/8, it does a lot more damage. We want to make a land drop this turn. We want to make a land drop basically every turn. So options. 1, I could go ahead and crack the clue. That gets me one card deeper. Piracy Charm. That might be good later. And now we just need to find a... Okay, there we go. So we can't both Murk and protect him here. Piracy Charm does kill the creature. I think we just hold up Dress Down and Spell Pierce. Piracy Charm. And I'm going to put Murk on top. I'll do it like that. We're not going to shuffle this. I just want to keep all my interaction in hand. Okay, and now we have Dress Down for them trying to put Strix into play. And this way we're going to be able to Murk with Spell Pierce to hopefully stop. Yeah, sure. Please do that. Do that as many times as you'd like. That does shuffle away our Murk, unfortunately. But it's a 2-for-1. Or like it's a 0-for-1. Or 1-for-0. They could have Murk in their own deck. Angler. We're not set up to beat this, unfortunately. We need another Brazen Borrower. They did give up a lot of their graveyard for this. Well, we're going to do that. Get our card. You get no card. We can Piracy Charm that. This is exactly the size that dies. I think we want to find a land drop here. Archmage Charm is sweet. I don't want this island. I can take Archmage Charm next turn. Make our land drop. And then we just don't make the fetch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make him full size. I'm not scared. We still have Brazen Borrower that we can cast if we absolutely need to. Don't hit me. Oh my goodness. So let's Piracy Charm. Let's kill their Strix. I should have pierced first, actually. Yeah, that was a misplay. I could have gotten them to tap out, probably. Well, I'm not going to tap out just in case. We have Archmage Charm on top, which is really good. They can't attack in. They have to wait and cast Slow Kaito. Oh my goodness. I think we draw. We could just... If we attack... Okay, so options. If we just draw, we might draw something good. We're not going to be able to counter Kaito. My instinct is to just go ahead and draw. Well, we need to fetch first, because we know one of these cards is bad. Yeah, I'm just going to fetch an island, and I'll save my other card for later. I'm looking for another Bowmaster, so I can... I mean, this is not bad at all. It's not bad at all. They have to redeploy this. Okay, and now I'm just going to go ahead and ponder, because I can while the pondering is good. This is fine. I can make a land drop. And I can Lorien Reveal next turn, but I probably want an Archmage Charm next turn. Let's see. So Kaito comes down. Kaito stuns my dude. Then I just double Brazen Borrower and kill with those. They'll be low enough. Let's see, we can make this a 9. Yeah, let's make it a 9. I'll just put the Archmage Charm on top. Okay. So now we come in for a hug. They have the option of slow Kaito. They may have other interaction. But I think these double Brazen Borrowers are going to be enough to kill them. I'm optimistic. I think Kaito's coming out. Yeah, they have to defensively stun, which is fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just hold up Archmage Charm in case of emergency. They are going to get to attack and do the thing. I don't want to put these out because I don't want them to be able to stun them. Okay, and they can surveil if they'd like. Brazen Borrower is just an insane card. Like, it saved us in both games. It saved us from Flip Tamiyo, and then it just saved us from this giant fish. Gurmag Angler. Very cool card. I don't know why they're not playing Murktide, frankly. Like, Murktide is just a better card. When you've already got, like, every single one of their lands taps for blue. Alright. Let's see. Alright, and they may be able to kill one of these, but I doubt they're going to be able to kill them both. Okay, they can blast one. What is this? We're in an end step, so it's not Plague Engineer. I'm trying to think of what it could be that could kill both of these. They don't have to kill both. They just have to kill one. I'm about to draw Lorien Revealed. Kolagon's command. So this brings it back to hand, right? Yeah. I mean, that helps them tread water for sure. I needed to go ahead and do that. Like, I can just counter it on the way back down. They didn't plus, so they can't stun. Let's knock them down to 2. Actually, I think it's fine to just kill Kaito here. Yeah. That may seem like extreme, but we have a definite way to kill him here. I'm just going to counter this. I can draw a bunch of cards next turn. Kaito's off the board. Murk is waking up next turn. We have Lorien revealed. They're going to need like a Bowmaster, which I haven't seen out of their deck. Oh, wait, they do have Bowmaster, but they didn't bring a Bowmaster back, right? They did bring the... Yeah. I think they should have brought Bowmaster back instead of Strix. That's fine. Now they have Strix, but they're tapped out of Bowmaster mana unless they have a land. I mean, they are doing a great job of staying alive. I'll give them that credit. Like, Kolgon's Command is a grindy card. Okay, now they have Bowmaster mana, and casting Lorien revealed, which they don't know about, would be death. Probably. I'm still going to do it. I'm a mad lad. We have game 3 if we lose this one. I'm going to play this out now. They have it? Oh, that's fine. All right, let's draw some cards to replace that. Okay, Piracy Charm does take care of the Strix. I want to ponder first. There's another Murk. I'm just going to play another Murk. We'll shuffle away those lands. They could have a second Kaito, which would be really annoying, but I do want to get this Murk on the table. I haven't seen any Dazers or anything like that. I assume that they have lots of Plows and Pyroblasts here, and that this is not going to stick around, but I do think it's likely to resolve here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to leave a few instants and sorceries in my graveyard. Okay. This is big enough to tango with, what's his name? They don't have an attack. I can clear this next turn. Or better yet, I can just give Island Walk. But I think it's probably smarter to clear this. So like Kolgon's Command was like a 4-for-1 or something crazy like that. Yeah, they have a freaking Kaito. Oh, so annoying. So annoying. Like, this was like exactly the card they needed here. Yeah, we take a bunch of damage. They stun our dude. And we were just shy of Piracy Charm mana. I wanted to get the threat on the table. There's the Plains. Okay. So we know their hand still is Gurumug, Angler, and one other card. We draw freaking garbage. Yeah, this is not good. I'm going to play this out just in case we draw a Brainstorm, but we're just chilling, getting beaten down. This sucks. They get to redeploy. I'm going to go to game 3. Like, we got so freaking close. I don't have any hope. Well, we could take one more draw. Gosh, I feel like we played everything lined up perfectly. Oh, man. Hydroblast would have mostly rotted in our deck, in our hand. They did cast 3 spells this game. They're just getting tons of value here. It's just proof that every single mana matters. Because, like, Piracy Charm would have blown this open. Like, they would have been able to play Kaito, but they wouldn't have been able to get the attack. And they wouldn't get the value of being able to recast the Borrower later, or the Strix later. Now they're going to play the Strix too. They're not playing the Strix? Okay. I think we've already gone through all our dress downs. Okay, let's think about this. Let's draw. Another Murk. Okay. Can another Murk do it? I don't think it's going to do enough. They can't minus again. I'm going to clear out the instants and sorceries here just to make sure both of them are big enough. Might as well tap like another one of these. All right. So we've got 2 giant Murks. We can now block either of their creatures. We have Piracy Charm to give one of them... I mean, they're going to be so ahead on cards that it may not be good enough. 7 minutes on our clock. I am getting a little bit of extra lag that our opponent's probably not experiencing just because we're overseas behind the Great Firewall in China. Okay. Strix, that's a card. They don't have good attacks. Creeping Tar Pit is a very cool card. I like that card a lot. I've thought about including it in some of my budget builds. Just because it can attack Planeswalkers like Kaito unblockably. They are sacking Kaito. The other Kaito Sleepy. I think I'm just gonna... They could have double... Yeah, I'll just wait. My goodness. If this does not work, we have no plan B. We just ripped so many lands in a row. Alright. Can you stop the Murk? Yeah, they have an answer for it. Cling? Oh, okay. That gains life. Keeps them alive. Still gonna need like a bolt. My clock is just ticking down. I hope I don't have to play another round. Put this down. I'm not gonna have a lot of life to fetch anyway. So I want to shuffle away the fetches. I've already got a ton of lands out of my deck. 7 islands. I've got, I think, 2 more lands in my deck. 2 more, like, fetchables. It's a big card. One of the great things is I saw Wrath of the Skies earlier. They can't Wrath this away. They gain 3 life. I think they need to be drawing cards if they don't have answers. Okay, they scoop. We did it! Let's go to round 2. All right, round 2, we're on the play. 1-0. Up against a likely go wide strategy with Ocelot Pride. Very strong card. You can see it on the Be Excellent channel where I played with it on a number of occasions. I'm just going to play out this island. I'll pass. We probably don't Lorien Reveal here. We probably just hold it for a pitch. Oh, yeah. That's one way to deal with the freaking Reanimator Menace. Piracy Charm might actually be good. I'm just going to chill. That's a very cool looking planes. It's got the dude from Assassin's Creed. Game franchise I know nothing about, but it's got a cool kind of like it's going to chill. If they are doing a go wide strategy, they are doing it in a weird way. I'm just going to keep making land drops. That's what my deck does. Soon we'll have Hardcast Force up if they don't want to make any moves. Urza Saga, that's fine. Soul Cauldron. I think this is maybe a Pierce. We have that window to Pierce. This is an infinite combo, so yeah, I think it's probably okay. Okay, it's, Charm can take their dude. So we could use Charm to take their dude, and then we could hit their other. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm just gonna chill. So they're maybe on Painter. Soul Gun Lantern, that's fine. Okay, do we want to draw a card in the end step? I think to draw 2 cards. If we draw an island, then we have Lorien revealed as well. And if they counter this, it's not that big of a deal. Getting a blast out of their hand. Okay, and we drew another Archmage Charm and a Brazen Borrower, which answers one of the constructs. Now we, I think we just Lorien revealed. We'll get an island. Play that island, and we'll chill for another turn cycle. Lorien revealed buffs Murk, which is great. Yeah, I'm just gonna chill. I hope that they don't crack this in time, and we're able to get value for these. It's fine. This first one comes in. So with the search on this stack, I am going to go ahead and use this. I'll just put... I might be able to bait them into using their Soul Guide Lantern here. I don't really care that much. Yeah, Lorien revealed. Who doesn't want to draw 3 cards? Is that a Soul Guide Lantern activation for you? Yes! It worked! I didn't care about that. Okay. Now they've got their 3/3s. We're not going to give them information that their creatures are moribund. Lava Spur. Okay, another Urza Saga that we're going to have to work through. We have Dress Downs in our deck. So I'm just going to borrow this. Okay, Lava Spur Boots is equipped to nothing. If you'd like, you can equip to this. I don't have the... Ooh, I guess I Dismember. Yeah, I think I just Dismember this. I don't want to take the life. Ouchie, ouchie. Always going to be 4 life every time we cast that. All right, and they use their mana very inefficiently due to not knowing. It's not their fault, but we were able to force them into doing so. Okay, so now options. We want to find a land for sure. They've hit our graveyard, so let's go and Brainstorm. I think Tommy is fine here. Spell Pierce is really bad now. I think that goes back. Piracy Charm, I don't think does anything in this matchup, really. I mean, it could, in theory, like... I just want to shuffle this. Oh, Back to Basics. That does stop them from being able to use... I think Back to Basics might be worth it. But then we get stuck with these other cards. And it taps down one over. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think that's where we want to go with this. I might even board those out. Okay, there we go. That's the land. Now we're going to come in with Tommy, and we'll pass. We're not far from Hardcast Force. We just need to find a Dress Down. That's the card I'm looking for. I've got 2 in the deck, I believe. No, they're in the sideboard. They're not in the deck yet. Okay, so we're not looking for those yet. We're going to have to deal with these one for one. I think it's worth just going ahead and playing this out and starting beats. I'm not doing anything else here. I'll chill with the Archmage Charm for now. Okay, Blast. That's fine. 1 for 1. I think we just Murk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6/6, which is not too bad. Bigger than their stuff. And then we can swing in for 3. We've got Archmage Charm to stop something from happening here. Force blue card. Yeah, if they had waited on Tommy, I could have brainstormed and flipped her. I didn't know I was going to draw a brainstorm. Okay, so that's the first one. Now they are going to get pretty big. The fact that I can yoink one of their permanents is pretty good. Oh, I could have yoinked Lava Spur Boots and just hit him in the face. I actually think that might be viable. So Cauldron is fine. We're not going to counter that this time around. Yeah. They do have Grindstone, which is scary. So they can win out of nowhere. Don't have a freaking blast. Oh, just this? See, if I take control, I want to kill them in combat. So let's think about this. This becomes a 7-6. If we take the Lava Spur Boots, they don't get to attack. No, I think it still... Does it still equip? Oh, man, I don't know the rules on this. I'll just let him do it, and then I'll take it from him. I should have technically done this before. Oh, it's Ward 1, so I have to pay the ward. Yeah, I should have done this before the equip. That was a punt. Okay, they scooped. It doesn't matter. All right. So, Dress Down's coming in. Hydroblast coming in. Very easy substitutions. Cards that are coming out. Back to basics. They do play a lot of basics. I don't think it's a reliable thing. They also have a lot of Pyroblasts. Piracy Charm I don't think is good here. I can hit exactly Welder. And I'm not sure if they even play Welder now because they're playing probably... Well, maybe they do. I've seen a lot of lists with that Welder lately. Dismember hits it just the same. Spell Pierce seems pretty meh. A lot of their scary stuff is creatures. I'm not going down on Archmage Charm. This feels pretty good. They have lots of mana because they're a Stompy deck. I think it's fine to take out a Spell Pierce. Yeah, I think I'll do it like that. I'll just keep one Spell Pierce in. That felt good, though. Like, we had our mana under us, and we had plenty of action, plenty of options. We had a Force we didn't even use. This is a great hand. It doesn't have, like, explosiveness, but once we... Like, Archmage Charm is just an insane card. Like, it does so much for us. And I think it's pronounced Archmage. I just keep calling it Archmage, like he's working at McDonald's. All right, I would have liked to have seen a land there. Maybe I actually do want to just go get a land. We're not doing anything else here. Line up our next draws. These are not lands. I mean, we do have the Tamiyo Brainstorm combo. Dismember is a good card in this matchup. It's a nice escape valve. I think with the Tamiyo... No, I don't think Tommy's worth it. I mean, you might be able to bait them, and then... No, I just want land. I think land is the main thing with this deck. All right, Borrower's not bad at all. Having 4 Borrowers in your deck, not embarrassing against the Urza Saga decks. This mountain looks sick. They've got the combo. Please Blood Moon us. Please misunderstand our mana base. Yeah, I'm going to force this. This is just too good, frankly. I'll pitch one of the Archmage Charms. All right, so now we can Brainstorm first. And then, yeah, we're shuffling. I want that land so bad, but it's such a bad land. And I think we could put back this. Dismember. Play it out. I'm just going to chill for a turn cycle. Next turn, I'll Brainstorm again. We just need to find land. We have tons of land in our deck. 22, essentially. If you... A Goblin Engineer. This card is not beatable, unfortunately. This is a huge card for them. Let's see what... We have to kill this. So it's a 2-for-1. And there's the Devourer. This, oh man, perfect storm. Yeah, we have to kill the Engineer. And then we have to figure out a way to kill this too. I'm going to go ahead and do it in the end step. The Engineer is even more pressing because the Engineer can just keep returning the Painter Servant. And yes, I'm aware that that kills us in 2 turns. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. I have to stop this Engineer. Like, I mean it. Like, I've played against this deck a lot, and Engineer is what kills you. Okay, we found our way out of the woods here. Dress Down seems pretty important here. It does not stop the fact that everything's blue, unfortunately. I think we may have to do some more searching. So I'm going to put back one of the Dress Downs as much as I'd like to keep it. All right, and then what we have to do is basically wait until they've activated and then... bounce that out of play. I'm hoping to stuff some ETB trigger or something like that. I wish I had a way to punish this attack. They don't need to... Well, I mean... I'm going to fetch... my mana's so tight. I'm going to fetch for Island. Wait, is there anything I can put on top? Oh, I can put Dismember on top. That's so painful, but so necessary. Oh, I can't put it on top. I don't have enough Islands. Yeah, I'm just going to do that, and I am going to go ahead and Brainstorm here. And if I find a Dismember, I can use it. Okay, so we don't want this Sanctuary ever. Murk is not bad. It doesn't address the problem. Let's see, there's 16. Murk can be full-sized. Actually, we could Mystic Sanctuary, put Dismember on top, then we dress down to clear these, and then we hit that. Yeah, I think that actually is the play. So I'll put that back, the lands back. I guess it doesn't matter. We'll draw them in that sequence. Okay, we're going to take massive damage here, but hopefully they invest in at least one construct that we can snipe. Okay, so we'll have one excess mana at the end of this. Okay, I'm going to let them make this decision, and I'm going to let them commit all the mana to grinding me. So they're not going to grind me this turn. They haven't played a land. They could have a land in hand. Ah, this is so irritating because I would love to Archmage Charm this. But if they have a land drop that they haven't made, or something else, if they haven't made a land drop yet, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Just clear this now. It doesn't achieve anything though. Yeah, I'm going to let it happen. I just can't. I can't risk them winning. Okay. Now Dismember. I'm going to Dismember this. Double ouch. Another one? You gotta be kidding me. They do get the... no, wait, they don't get the ability. Holy cow. That's so good for us. Yeah, that's really good for us. Okay, they punted by playing that out. They should have just waited. Okay, so now we have Archmage Charm. They're realizing that that was a huge misplay. 1, 2... Oh, they just scooped the match? All right, yeah, like... I'm sorry, you don't need to scoop the match there. Like, you have 4 more cards. I think they're already gone. They're not going to read my text, but like, I just, for future reference, anybody watching, Solnox, if you're watching, like, that was a mistake, but it's not a fatal mistake. You've got tons of cards in your hand. I've got no pressure. I'm at 7 freaking life. I'm dying to your Goblin Shaman. So they don't know that I'm about to Murk and then Brazen Borrower the Shaman away, and that I've got Archmage to counter like their Pyroblast and all that stuff. And I don't know that I win this match. I don't know that I'll win this game. I think this is an extremely unfavorable match. We're playing a mono blue deck against a deck that has somewhere between 5 and 8 Pyroblasts in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be an uphill battle for us. But like, how clutch was dressed down there in the post-board game, and how clutch would it have been? And Brazen Borrower just continuing to be a freaking all-star. Like, we didn't even cast him this turn, but like last turn when I was dressed downing, even if they like somehow Spirit Guide, mill me, I would have been able to. Well, I still have 2 mana, so I'll Brazen Borrower this instead of dismembering it. And we would have been able to stay alive that way. So, just advice for anybody playing against Painter: it's an extremely intimidating deck to play against, especially as a blue deck. It can be beaten, but it's definitely an unfavorable matchup. But I think a lot of it comes down to just thinking very hard about how you're going to get through the initial volley, because as long, like, they have inevitability in these Painter Servant Grindstone combo, but like, always forcing Fable is one of the things I learned early on. You always force it. It's just, it does too much for them. You're gonna have to kill 2 different creatures. They're gonna get card selection. They're gonna get treasures along the way. This card is just one of the most powerful. I would argue it's probably the most powerful red card ever printed in Legacy, because it's just, it does so much. I mean, you could argue Blood Moon maybe, but like, this is universally good, whereas Blood Moon's dead against our deck. Fable is good against every deck. It is an insane card. It's so awesome, and I wish they would design more cards like this for non-blue decks. Like, something like this for white would be amazing, for example. Anyway, let's go to round 3. We are 2-0. All right, round 3. We're up against somebody who always plays combo. At least in everything that I've seen, 628, that's today, they were playing Necrodominance combo. I think we mull to a force here, since we're on the draw, just as a precaution. Here we go. Let's keep this. I'll put back an island, just in case they're on a fair strategy. Dismember is live. We're going to completely lose, most likely, if they are on combo here. I think it's a good precaution. They've got Oops All Spells and Necrodominance as their sole MTGO history. Okay. So I presume there's some sort of discard effect in our future. We'll see. Murk. I think we go ahead and get on board with Tommy. She can help us draw into more interaction. They're not going to be playing soft permission. They're just going to discard our force. Okay, Petal. Ritual. Necrodominance. I'm going to force this. They're going to probably pact it because they wouldn't have kept this hand that was soft to force without any sort of interaction. Yeah, and we can just wait and see if they whiff. Let's F6 through their turn while they do all their stuff. Because there's no way I would have let that resolve if I had anything to do about it. We have a lot of interaction we can bring in for game 2 with a lot of forces. They drew 16 cards. Born Upon a Wind is the card we need to worry about. They may discard a lot of their hand here to be able to get that. Manamorphose. Summoner's Pact. Manamorphose. They have Tendrils mana up. I don't know what the storm count is. For some reason, MTGO just randomly shows it and randomly doesn't show it. They need Born Upon a Wind before they can actually cast the Tendrils. Unfortunately, this deck is a little bit harder for blue techs to stop than Oops All Spells is, because with Oops you just resolve the cage and you're like 90% of the way there. Here, you really do have to fight on the stack. Okay, so they're discarding a bunch of cards here. They could whiff. It's unlikely. They still haven't cast Born Upon a Wind, which they need to cast to win. Okay, they're doing this again, which is good for us, but they have seen most of their deck at this point. They definitely have Lethal Storm. They just need to find Born Upon a Wind and Tendrils, and then they win. And you should always make them play it out. Sometimes they do whiff. It's probably like a 10% fail rate or something like that, but it's a real fail rate. My opponent says, I don't know what's going on. He just won't let me cast artifacts. They said they're going to restart. I'm going to ask, did you cast Born Upon a Wind? I don't see it anywhere. That would explain why you can't cast artifacts. I said, I did. Well, why don't I see it anywhere? Am I missing something? I don't see it in exile. I don't see it in the graveyard. Okay. So that's like 7 minutes of my life that I won't get back, unfortunately. It's like 5. Just because my opponent misunderstood how their deck worked. Let's completely orient our deck to just beat them. So Hydroblast is negligible, but it is a blue card. I guess everything's a blue card in this deck, so we don't really have to think too much about that. We're definitely bringing these in. I don't think Dress Down is worth bringing in. Hydroblast can at least hit Metamorphosis. So we'll take out the Dismembers. I will take out the Tamiyos. In theory, we could like Brazen Borrower something back to hand. I don't know if I actually... Oh, I'll take out these Piracy Charms. They can force our opponent to discard a card, but that's not going to be consequential. Neither is Back to Basics. So we need to cut one more card. I genuinely think it's fine to just cut Murktide. We can actually just cut all the Murktides. Is there a card that is better than Murktide here? Because we can totally just win by beating them down with a Brazen Borrower. It doesn't matter. Brazen Borrower is like faster to come out. Yeah, I don't think we really have anything better than Murktide. I mean, Back to Basics. Back to Basics is probably better than Murktide. I know this sounds crazy to say, but I can imagine some fringe scenarios where it's relevant. My opponent said, I did not. I am very tired. All right. So they're going to get to go on the play again. We need double Force Hand. We got it. Snap freaking Keep. So even when I snap Keep, I always wait a few seconds just to make them think that I'm thinking about it. But like, you don't think about this hand. Not only is it double force, but it's like 2 different forces. So they can't like therapy me. They mull to 5. Not liking your odds, son. And they're using a whole lot of mana to Manamorphose here. I'm going to let it happen. I want to fight over the Pact. It's fine. Necro. Okay, so we're going to force the Necro. I think I actually force with Force of Will. Back to Basics looking pretty bad in my hand here. Okay. They've got 1 card in hand. You're welcome to still play, but like I am a fair deck that will take your deck apart. I'm absolutely going to slaughter you from here on out. Like, don't play the type of deck my opponent would play. It's not fun for anybody. All right, let's just chill with spell. I mean, what could they even have? I think it's fine to just ponder and start setting up the next few turns. I just need to find a Brazen Borrower to beat them down since they haven't conceded yet. I was hoping that they would have a force effect, or the Pact, so I could just kill them with that. These are all fine cards. This is the land number 3 for Archmage's Charm. Archmage's Charm will be the last draw. I will just take this island here, and we'll keep the cards up from next turn on. And then we're just going to wait until we receive what we need to win. It's just about controlling the stack and having more counter magic than they have. And they have basically 2. As long as you have 2 counter spells in your... Yeah. As long as you have 2 counter spells in your hand, I think you're fine here. Because they have, like, Pact. Unless they have multiple Pacts. And you just counter... You let the Pact resolve, and then you counter the spell. And then you're done. The next turn, we'll get Archmage Charm up, which is another hard counter. They'll use this eventually to cast a spell, and then we'll counter it, and that'll convert it into a 2-for-1. So I can Archmage Charm in the end step. And then we do have 1 Murk left in the deck that we can find. Charbelcher is no bueno. That may have been why they like didn't concede earlier. They said GG's. All right. Again, like, my humble advice is don't play decks like this. I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, the quote-unquote respectable combo, but, like, this is just not very fun to play against. I feel like a toddler could have beaten that. Okay, we haven't lost a single game. Feeling pretty good. See you in round 4. Round 2, this is a pretty flexible hand. I like the Lorien Revealed Murk at the end. We're on the draw. They're an aggro deck, most likely. They basically exclusively aggro decks. I hope they're on Moon Stompy. Okay. Mono White Initiative, maybe. That is a deck that has the sequence. Yeah, there's the initiative creature. If the initiative actually hits the table, it's going to be pretty bad for us. Sage of the Skies. This is annoying because we can't stop it. We could counter one and then just dismember the other one. This is a lifelink and flying. It'll be a few turns before we can do anything about this. I don't think I counter this. I think I kill one and then I just try to ramp out the Murk soon enough. I mean, I could just force both sides of it. I don't imagine that's correct. Flying lifelink. Let's think about this. Because they expended a lot of resources. I think I am going to force one of these. I'll just pitch Murk. We'll get another Murk later. And then this one will resolve, and then I will cut it down. I'll just wait till they go to combat, and then I'll cut. Also, you're going to see my clock going down a lot. I mean, I am experiencing lag that I've been complaining about the past few videos. As long as I play expeditiously, it shouldn't be an issue, but it was nearly an issue in my trophy video when I was up against Lands and Tabernacle. So you'll see, like, it seems like I'm waiting on them, but then it'll pass to me and my clock will drop a whole lot. Chalice for 1. I don't really want that to happen. Yeah, I think I'm going to force this. It sucks, but I think it's correct. We've really just been spewing cards here. And I'm doing this because I don't want them to gain a bunch of life, and I don't want to lose life. And they're down to 2 cards, and it's possible that I can, like, dig out of this. Okay, Borrower's good. We can borrow their Mox later. I'm going to go ahead and just do as much stuff as I can right now because they have Archon of Emeria in their deck. And if they play that, it's a chore. And they may also have Fall of Chalices. I think this is a shuffle. We're looking for Murk. Okay, I'll take the second Borrower. It's not great. If they have a Mana Source, it's pretty bad. But, like, if we can bounce that Mox back, it may stall them out a little bit. I can't do anything about that, sadly. This is what I was talking about. Force. Gosh, I don't know. I think we just pass and we borrow that back. That doesn't mean we won't be able to force anything. Well, I guess after it's been bounced back to hand. Anointed Peacekeeper. This card is so annoying. It should be calling Annoying Peacekeeper. You like that? I think we have to force it, sadly. I mean, like, I feel this is like a terrible matchup. We're just sitting here, like, and then I'm going to bounce this back to hand when they attack. And then hopefully I'm going to draw something relevant. Oh, I can't do anything because I forced. I needed to bounce that and then force. That was a punt. The reason people complain about lag on MTGO, and it's not MTGO's fault, I guess. It's my fault for whatever reason. I decided to come to this country overseas, and the internet connection is bad. But, like, whenever you get, like, any sort of delay, it completely takes you out of your flow state and disrupts your focus, makes you play like crap. And so if I seem to be playing like crap all of a sudden, I blame the lag. Yeah, this is a bad draw. So we're just going to see what they do here. I mean, like, I bounce it out, and they just put it right back in. So I guess I instep bounce it. I need to be able to pierce if they do something. I don't know what they would do that would be pierceable, but if they did do something pierceable, I want to be there to pierce it. And then end step, I can be free of this for at least a turn cycle. That is pretty catastrophic. Yeah, we can't do anything about this. I think we've already lost the game, unfortunately. We could draw like a giant Murk. So they've got the initiative cooking over there. If I bounce this back to hand, they can just replay it. Let's see if they play a land and kill that. Because then I could bounce. Yeah, they may not be able to redeploy it next turn. Okay, yeah, they are killing that. So now I can just end step bounce this and hope they can't replay it. It's a pretty pathetic plan, frankly. But that'll kill me in basically one crack if I let it. Gosh, okay, so one option is to just borrow this back to hand. I think I'm going to do that. It's pathetic. But what option do we have? They get to continue the initiative. Actually, yeah, we're dead. Are we just deterministically dead? Because if they forge, this becomes 4, we take 4, and then yeah. So unless they go Lost Well for some reason, that wouldn't make any sense, then we're dead. Deterministically, we can't draw anything that can take the initiative back in time. Okay, I'll concede. All right. So again, bouncing that out and then forcing would have saved us, because they would have had to spend an entire turn redeploying that if they wanted to redeploy it. So that was a pretty big punt. So in terms of sideboard cards, I think Dress Down is the only card that comes in. I think Spell Pierce comes out. They don't have that many pierceable cards. Also, Piracy Charm sucks. Let's see. It can make our creature unblockable. I don't think it's worth playing. Okay, so we can get rid of these Spell Pierces. Tamiyo is pretty bad too. I mean, we have a lot of cards that are bad in this matchup. This is one of those catastrophically bad matchups. Back to basics, sucking really hard against them, unfortunately. Yeah, this is just a terrible matchup. I'm going to do my best. I'm not resigned to losing. I'm going to still try. This is not like a representative thing that you come across a lot. Yeah, I don't think Forced Negation is where we want to be. Ah, man, Pierce is so bad, though. I think, yeah, we probably do take out Pierce or Forced Negation. Maybe just 2 of them. I don't know. I think Back to Basics is so bad, too. Because they have tons of basics. They're going to be able to get at least 1 basic. They also have Mox. I don't know. I mean, my instinct is just bring in all the forces and take out all the Pierces, because they are really awkward. And then we have room for a Pierce to come back in. I'm trying to think, is there any creature they play that has 1 toughness? I don't think there is. Gaining Island Walk, not useful. I guess we play a Pierce. I think the real nightmare matchup is Death and Taxes, but this is pretty close to that. Okay, so we could just get Tamiyo going. We have Dress Down to shut off their abilities. We need to use the fetches proactively, because Archon of Emeria punishes you for playing any sort of non-basics, which does suck, but I think it's correct to just not run the risk of having to play this tapped and wait a turn to go fetch. We're less impacted by it than most decks would be, because we're always going to be fetching Basic Island. But Archon can come down as early as turn 1, so we should respect. So if they try to Chalice, I'd probably just let it go. I mean, I do have Borrowers and stuff. I don't think I'd force a Mox. Cavern. That is one argument for keeping Back to Basics in, is they do play 4 Cavern, 4 Ancient Tombs, but I just can't get behind it. I don't think it's good enough. Gosh, please don't have the freaking initiative creature this turn. Yeah, we have to, I'm not going to 2-for-1 myself to stop them from 2-for-1ing themselves. They chose Dragon. Interesting. Are they going to drop the Dragon? That might be what they're heading toward. I can always dress it down. It doesn't actually affect really anything in my deck. I don't have any artifacts. It just affects solely Tamiyo. So I'd actually be fine if that was what they were doing. Yeah, so I assume that they have the White Dragon, Archon, or what is it called? Clarion Conqueror. It's a cool card. So if they Clarion Conqueror next turn, then I'll just crack my clue. If they don't, and they do something else, then I can dress it down. And later I could swipe their Mox, rather. Their mana base is garbage. It's not as bad as the red version, this red and white, but it is really bad. All right, so Tamiyo is not a helpful draw. We'll come in. We'll pass after making our clue. Archmage Charm may be relevant. I mean, I think stealing a Mox is probably okay. It's not great. If they have the dragon, the dragon actually shuts off their Mox anyway. It's just a good deck building. Human. Okay, so we're going to be facing a Dungeoneer here. Oh, that. So if we dress down, I think it does remove the as ability. Okay, Dismember's a good rip. Okay, options. We could hold Dismember. I do want to deny the mana. I'm seriously tempted to just bounce the Mox back to hand. It might make sense to just steal the Mox. We could use the mana. Yeah, I won't get the mana until next turn. If I steal the Mox, it's like a 2-for-1 kind of. Is that crazy? The other option is I can attack and then I can just draw 2 cards off Archmage. Then I've got a... yeah, but then if they dragon, I can't use it again, but I can dismember the dragon. I think it's worth just drawing the 2 cards with Archmage and flipping her. Okay, we got a Lorien revealed for next turn to get a land. Got a dress down, which will probably be too late to the party, frankly. Luckily, we didn't really draw any 1-drops, which is what I was afraid of. I would love for them to cast a non-creature spell this turn. So Tamiyo is going to keep our opponent distracted. Please don't play Dungeoneer. I'm okay if they play the dragon. Okay, this is dragon. That's cool art. It's like it feels like a throwback art. So we just dismember this one, and then we can just go back to Tamiyo. So Lorien, get an island, dismember here. Now I'll plus, and we have effectively kind of like stun locked Anointed Peacekeeper, which has to attack every turn. We have dress down if they play some creature that's dress down worthy. If we draw like a critical mass of 1-drops, it may make sense to just Brazen Borrower this out of play. Fire them all. Okay, let's read this. Vigilance. If no mana was spelled, counter that spell. Sacrifice. It's not really the benefit to... Okay, so they can get the ring tempt. I think we just let this go. That does stop me from forcing stuff. Okay, so here... This might sound like kind of a silly play, but like they are kind of low in cards. I'm thinking about just borrowing the Anointed Peacekeeper back to hand when they attack. And then I can regrow Dismember. Dismember this. The ring tempts you. It doesn't really matter. There's not going to be any creatures on the table. Okay, another bad card. Hurting myself so much, but we are gradually working through their creatures. If they don't, if they do play like a spell that we can force, we can actually pay to cast it. We can also crack clues, and we can also Brazen Borrower. So we've got lots of options here. I hope they just do Dungeoneer, and we can dress just to get it out of the way while we have our dress down online. I'm just going to dress this down. I don't want to be able to see my hand. So we get to draw again. Alright, that's good. We're going to hurt ourselves even more. But we are getting places, like we're slowly getting card advantage. We just need more land, really. Like I'd love to draw a land. Okay, Murk is actually precisely what we need here. I'm going to plus here. I'm going to Murk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just exile everything. They can't attack in anymore. Okay, and now if they try to... Like, they could have Solitude. I can't stop that, but if they have Plow or some other thing to kill, I can force it. 5 mana in the pool. Okay, yeah, they do have Solitude. Annoyingly. Yeah, nothing I can do about this. Except just gain the life. I'm going to cut this Anointed Peacekeeper. I feel like we're not getting anywhere, but we are getting close. Like, they're gradually running out of cards. They're going to start drawing garbage. Let's see if I can get lucky and draw something good here. Okay, there. That's good. That does mean that we can... I don't want to have to minus Tommy. I guess I plus Tommy, and then I can bring in the Borrower this turn. Or I can force negate... Yeah, I'll just do that. They'll gain some life. It's all right. We still have 13 minutes, but like again, we've been losing a ton to clock, to lag. So I am a little worried about time, because we have to play the control role pretty hard in this matchup. If they do have like a seasoned Dungeoneer, we will bring out our Borrower, and that will get us where we need to go. I'll be very happy to force negate pitching the Ponder and the Tamiyo since they're locked out due to Chalice. Tamiyo will stay where she is currently. Okay, here comes another creature. Another Anointed Peacekeeper. So they can name... They could actually name Brazen Borrower. That's the heads up thing. That's probably what they're going to name here. And then I'll just crack a clue. I can still play Brazen Borrower out. It's just 2 more mana. Tamiyo. Yeah, why? Oh, wait, to activate. I can't activate. I didn't think about the activation ability. Yeah, I'll just do it. It's more mana efficient. This turn I can crack a clue. Go ahead and start by cracking a clue here. All right, let's think about this. So we could feed a ponder to the graveyard. Well, we still don't have enough mana to play out Murk. Oh, wait, I can activate it. I just have to pay 2 mana. That's not that bad. Yeah, I'll do that. And then I'm just going to fire one of these into Oblivion for future Murk purpose. I might as well attack. I can't block. They're going to be able to attack Tommy for 4 loyalty. It's okay. Again, like she's keeping me alive. If they turn their Recticle to me, then that's kind of scary. She's done a very good job of just chilling and spinning our opponent's wheels. They know that we have tons of forced negations in our hand. All right. Come on, clock. I can both Murk and pay to activate Tamiyo this turn cycle if I need to. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Murk's not large. It's okay. He's a 5/5. Come in for my hug. If they can clear Murk, they can clear Tommy, and then the game's probably over. Since we lost game 1, there's no reason to concede. I'm going to fight to the bitter end. It sucks that, like, Solitude is a freaking creature. Witch Enchanter. Okay, that doesn't do anything except just be a body. Okay, they're not attacking. That's good. Okay, options. I think we do want to do Lorien Reveals here. I'm going to... This may seem crazy, but I'm going to Lorien Reveal for an island. Wait, I could actually Lorien Reveal for a Missing Sanctuary. Buff my my Murk. And then we could attack them for 8. They gain 3. We could attack them for 9. They gain 3. They go to 21. I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to try to turbo them. We have Force Negation up. We can just end step Borrower and then they're dead. Assuming they don't have creature interaction. So Tommy's probably dead. I didn't check to see. Yeah, they're all attacking her. That's fine. They go up to 11. But we do 12 on the back crack. It's fine. Come on, don't have a freaking life gain, dude. Okay, let's just do this. See what happens. Okay. That was good. I'm glad I saw the opportunity to just turn aggro. Because I was like treading water for a long time. And I was like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so Spell Pierce, doubly bad. Would back to basics have been good there? I think they had... Gosh, it doesn't show mana tapping in the log. All right, we may be gearing up for a longer game, and I think Spell Pierce is terrible here. So I think I bring back to basics in. We cut a Spell Pierce. These Force Negations felt pretty atrocious too. It seems weird to bring in back to basics against a monocolor deck, but I think it's okay. They're not going to expect it. And a lot of times, people just don't respect back to basics, and then they get caught. Less than 9 minutes for this game, which is hugely consequential considering that like literally every time I pass priority, 4 or 5 seconds vanish from my... And I use the word literally to mean literally because it is pretty uniform. Fortunately, this deck is pretty simple to play compared to a lot of the decks I play. And this doesn't have Force. Force may not even matter. It has Dress Down. Tamiyo was good. I don't want to throw back a hand like this. I'm going to keep... Because if I mull for Force, then they just open Caverns, and I feel like a dum-dum. Okay, Ancient Tomb into Chalice. That's a bummer. My MTGO is lagging so hard that I see it over here, and it just takes like another... Watch my clock here. Just 10 seconds vanished. Every little second counts when you're playing a control deck. If I sound curmudgeon, like, just be grateful that you're not dealing with this. There are periods where MTGO just has tons of lag and everybody complains and stuff. And I'm grateful that I'm the only person experiencing. I bet you a lot of the other players playing in China, of whom there are a lot, are experiencing similar stuff. But it's not necessarily anything that the companies... Like, in order to censor the web, China basically completely screwed up their internet. It's like everything is so unreliable. Yeah, I can't do anything. This is very strong, aggressive front. This is a copy, so technically we can bounce it back to hand with Borrower and it's gone. It's kind of like a token, right? So I think I am going to go ahead and just Lorien Cycle now to get the game actions out of the way, because I will eventually want to do that. So you're tuned in to Be Excellent. Not only does he handicap himself by playing no reserve list cards decks. But he also flies halfway around the world, so we can have the world's worst internet. And I say this, technically I've got a 250 megabit connection right now, but you would never guess that playing MTG because like the packet, thing. Okay, so I think what we do here, we just bounce one of these out of play. We hold up dress down just in case they have some explosive thing. So I'll dress down one and then I'll bounce the copy and then I'll kill the original next turn. But sometimes they do stuff before they attack. I don't want to be tapped out if they do have it, but I don't want to take the extra 2. This Dismember is already going to be hitting me pretty hard. So I will borrow once we get to attacks. Let's bounce this copy out of existence. Petty Theft, so strong. Brazen Borrower is just an awesome card. I think I've said this many times before, but even though it's one of the most played creatures in Legacy, I think it's still underestimated. Okay, that worked. We take the damage. Please don't do something that I would love to have dressed down. Take 3 there. If it's just the dude that looks at my hand, it's okay. If it's Mox plus Archon, that's annoying. Yeah, and I didn't fetch. I think I may have made the mistake of playing out a basic earlier, not thinking about the fact that it was going to bite. So we can go get an island. Yeah, I think I just go get an island and play it out. And then we dismember this. Or I could dismember this and then I could fetch. And then I have dress down up. I think that's the play. Luckily, dress down does not get hit by Chalice. So in some respects, it's better than Fatal Push. All right, so we're going to have dress down next turn. And we're going to hope that it works. I really will be sad if I don't get a chance to use it. Because I want to get it out of my hand. 13 all. Please cast the thing that I need to dress down here. You're just like, as a control player, you're just looking at your opponent's hand, trying to get that as low as possible. They're coming in for a hug. I'll take it. I gain some life back. And I unfortunately can't F6 because I've got a ton of interaction in my hand. Another one. There's no real point in dressing this down, unfortunately. I'm just going to grab an island, and I'm just going to go ahead and Lorien. I think we're screwed. I can put this out at instant speed and like trade with that, but so that resolves. Still no targets for Archmage Charm. No good targets. Okay, I can F6 through this turn just to try to save clock. It probably won't even matter. I'll probably still lose a bunch of stuff. Okay, another Lorien, which we can use. So we can make efficient use of our mana this game. So I'm just going to go to their turn and see what they do. I can flash it. I will trade with Archon. I'm not too proud. I just need to survive. Eventually, a giant Murk will arrive, and we'll hopefully be able to protect it. I've had a lot of people like, kind of in the comments, both here on YouTube and on Twitter, that say stuff like, oh, that's not actually a control deck because you're playing Murktide. Like it's more of a tempo deck. Murktide is the best closer that a control deck can ask for. It'd be great if it drew cards and had other values and stuff, but like the fact that it, like the original The Deck by Brian Wiseman back in 1995 played Sarah Angel. That's how it ended the game. I think I'm going to go ahead and just trade. I don't want to take more damage. I'm going to remove this material from the table. 5 minutes on the clock. Got to find that Murk. Murk will be huge when we do find it. I could have gotten Lorien revealed back. It would have actually entered tapped. And I think if it enters tapped, it doesn't get the effect. So we can both dress down and Archmage Charm here if we need to counter something. Okay, Witch Enchanter is fine. Let's let that resolve. Just going to draw 2 cards. Gotta go fast here. Okay, Borrower. I can't do anything at the end step. I can flash this in to just fight that. And as much as I'm complaining about the lag, it was way worse earlier this week. Okay, there's the Murk. So I think what we do here is we just Murk. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm just going to make a giant Murk. And then I can drop a Brazen Borrower next turn. And we'll just hope they don't have a Solitude in their back pocket. I mean, we can always dress down the Solitude if they do. But we can't do that next turn. We can only do that. We can't do that this turn. We can only do that next turn. Okay. Please go for Solitude during your turn. I need to do this in step. If they have the Solitude, they have it. They're geniuses for playing around. Yeah, they have it. Oh my goodness. So bad for us. And we emptied out our graveyard. I think we wait. I'm just going to do it. I'm technically ahead on life. I'm going to start aggroing them. I'm going to cast a Ponder into the void as well. Now we've got a pretty big Murk if we find one. All right. That breaks our clock. I can't really do anything about this. I could just dress down to get through it. I think I'm just going to hit him in the air, and I'm going to hope that I draw something good. I can force myself to draw something good with this Dismember. I could get Dismember back. So I don't want to stop hitting them. I'm going to keep hitting them. Oh, I could just put Dismember on top, dress down to draw it, and then kill something. Yeah, I'll wait, and I'll do that during their turn. Because I do need to kill this, but I take 4, and then I just take 2, so I drop to 4. And then they'll die before I do, because they'll take 2. Yeah, that'll work. Assuming they don't have another thing. I mean, like, what? They haven't had land, so what else? Oh, Ancient Tomb also puts them to dead. They can't tap that anymore. If they have Solitude, now's the time to use it. I don't have the luxury of waiting around. Technically, I should have put Dress Down on the stack first, and then fetched. That was maybe a fatal misplay. So we draw. Dismember here. Come on, MTGO, be quick. We need them to not be able to remove this. Dress Down dies. All right, Force is great. I think we can win now. So we swing. Wow, this game really came down to the freaking wire. My goodness. I don't think they would need 2 points of interaction here. I'll take it to 1. All right, they are going to play out something here. Seasoned Engineer in the under the Mox. I am not going to remove my pinky from this A key that I use to say, okay, and pass priority. All right, we did it. Holy cow. We did lose our first game, but this deck is freaking awesome. Mono blue. Like, my record is literally 9 wins in a row. I haven't lost a single match in 9 rounds. I think that might be a new record for me. I know that Joyful Waffle, I posted a video where we reviewed. He got 3 trophies in 24 hours, but he actually did, I think, lose a few games in between those. He didn't get like 15 consecutive wins. All right, let's go to the final round. We're back for the final round. I got a good night's sleep. Hopefully, I did not lose my mojo from last night. I've been on a tear here. Looks like my opponent is likely on white aggro deck. I think this hand is okay. We have Brainstorm to fix it. However, if they Chalice, it's really bad. I feel like it doesn't really do anything, but we just want to make land drops anyway. Let's just keep it. If they Chalice, I can Brainstorm, and at least I can shuffle away one of these. I would never have kept a hand like this in the past, but like my view on control decks is evolving to where it's just like, okay, stay alive, make your land drops. The game gets better for you than it does for your opponent. They're mulling to 6. Hopefully they're not on a combo deck. A lot of players, like, if they're going to play Legacy, they're like, oh, it's cheap to rent all spells. Hopefully that's not what's happening here. I'm going to play out the island here. Now, if they do jam Archon of Emeria, I'm going to feel like a total fool for not playing out one of my fetches. And maybe I should have led with the fetch anyway, because it gives them less information. Okay, Urza Saga. So this could be Karn Forge, this could be Painter. Okay. This could be Mono Black Saga Storm. Okay, it looks like it's Moon Stompy here. And I'm going to feel like a fool for not playing out one of my fetches, because I could have a second island here if this is Blood Moon. Okay, well, we have to Brainstorm now. Okay, this is okay. I'm going to let it go. We actually don't have that many 1-drops in the deck, and they pitched a Force. This is not a good matchup for us at all. If they Blood Moon now, then they get to keep the construct creating land forever. So unless they have some burst of mana, they're not going to be able to get all the constructs out of this. That does, well, it doesn't necessarily keep us from using Archmage Charm. But now they can create a construct every single turn. I think we still chill on this. Yeah. Just, I mean, it shuts off Archmage Charm, that's it. Until we find a Lorien Revealed or we naturally draw an island. Which, knowing our luck, we're probably going to draw an island soon. Against this deck, there are like some really nasty cards you have to force, like Fable. I don't consider Megas to be one of them right now. Murk is pretty decent. I'm just going to chill. We want to get a big Murk, so if they cast something that we can Spell Pierce, we may Spell Pierce just, even though it's going to get countered, just to get a sorcery in our yard. Okay, they're coming in for a hug. I think they're probably just going to keep producing Urza Saga tokens. Okay. Yeah, there's no reason for them to move any faster than that. So this means that we can Archmage Charm one of their constructs next turn. We could also Archmage Charm their Mox. Let's think about this. We Archmage Charm the Mox. That reduces the total power of the creatures, and it also takes their only red source away. No, they can tap all their lands for red. That would be... I think what we do is we just chill, and maybe they put something out that is worth... Like, if they put... Yeah, I don't know that stealing a construct just to have a jumper is the right move here. But it would put a card in our graveyard for Murk. We can preserve some life by doing it now. And then if we force something, we very easily have a 6/6 Murk. I'm going to go ahead and do this to preserve life total. Because what we can do is next turn we can block another construct. And this also reduces the total size of the constructs and gives us more time to catch up with Murk. The bad news is they haven't done any damage to themselves, and they probably won't do damage to themselves. The other bad news is I'm getting server lag. Okay, second force. Not the worst. I'm going to just go ahead and Murk here. I'm going to go all in with all my lands. That way I can leave more in the yard for later if I draw a second Murk. So there's no point in attacking here. I'm just going to hold this back as a chumper. Sure, they're going to create their dude now. So this is just a 5/5. It will only block for like a turn cycle. But it does deter their aggression for a turn cycle. Unless they want to lose a construct. So we could hardcast a force on something they do this turn. Which would maybe tap them out of creating a construct. And then we could... Or we could pitch cast. And then the next turn we could hardcast. I'm thinking like Pyrogoyf, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Those are cards that I think you always... want to stop Broadside. Probably the most dangerous card in their deck, other than just Blood Moon, if you're not prepared for it. Okay, so we're just going to block here. And then I think they're going to Fury here. Or do something else that we're going to counter. So we're going to get to remove one of their constructs for free, basically. Because we were going to counter anyway. They do actually have to pitch cast Fury if that's what they're going to do here. Oh, no, they're just going to straight up cast it. Okay, so we'll force that. And this also taps them out of creating a construct. So now I feel like I can just start attacking them. So we're at 14. Yeah, I think it's fine to start attacking them here. It's going to be a long beatdown. Best draw would be Archmage. I could actually play that out. Yeah, I think I'm going to play this out. And then I've got Hardcast Force up as well. Oh, it gets countered. I'm a dum-dum. Oh, no. Yeah. That does reduce my flexibility. Sorry, my excellent friends. That was obviously a punt to the heads up. Like I've already been... Yeah. Adding Tamiyo to our deck does increase the number of 1-drops to... I think it's like 17 or 18 now. In the old version of the deck with the Planispheres, it was just like... I'll just counter this. Good news is if we draw a second Murk, we're like on easy street. And because they did that, they're not going to have a construct this turn. They can attack, but I will attack with my construct. So we dropped to 12. We're not dead to a broadside here. Soul Guide, yeah. Chalice checking themselves. Right after I chalice check them. Chalice check is a joke. You do it in paper. On MTGO, it'll always trigger. Okay, that's not a good draw. Let's go ahead and come in. I guess the reasoning in holding this back is if they do draw a broadside, then at least we can block one. If they draw a broadside, they don't have anything to throw. I'm trying to think of Pyrogoyf. Would Pyrogoyf kill Murk at this point? I think it probably would. Like instant. Oh, if we put a sorcery in there, it'll definitely do it. We need to not play the sorcery. I don't think that this one matters, but I'm not going to be blocking. I'll attack just in case it matters. Hopefully I'm not punished. But I mean, why not get extra damage, right? Archmage Charm has saved us a lot of life this game. See, they have creature, artifact, instant, land, sorcery. So it will, if they, yeah, this is going to be bad for us. They're going to be able to sift through their deck and find a Pyrogoyf to finish off our Murk. We need another Murk stat. Or like a Lorien Revealed or something like that would be okay too. We'll take this. All right, there's the second Murk. It's very good for us. So I'm going to Ponder into the Void. We're going to be able to knock him down to 1 and have a big blocker. I'll get rid of this land too. I'm just gonna get rid of everything in my graveyard. This is it. This is our final stand here. It's tough to think of what they could have here. Broadside would be good still. We could double block it. If they had Broadside and Fury, that could do it. But they can't cast both. Because they're only going to have 2 cards. They won't be able to pitch cast Fury. For those of you who haven't seen the Broadside Bombardier Fury thing, they inflict massive damage. Fury's a 5-drop, so they throw Fury at you for 7. And they can pitch cast it. Alright, so they've been Urza Saga, they've been Simian Spirit Guide, so that is artifact, creature, enchantment, land. Again, to all the people who say Murktide doesn't belong in a control deck, that it's a tempo deck, tell you, like Murktide is the only card that could have helped us win that game, I think, considering how mediocre our draws were. So Dress Down comes in, Hydroblast comes in. I think Force of Negation could come in, but it's like less cut and dry here. Let's talk about the cards that come out. I think Piracy Charms comes out, Back to Basics comes out. It's just not good enough, and they're gonna. You're not gonna. Well, I mean, technically, they did play a lot of non-basics. I don't know. It doesn't feel like the right card to be playing. I think Spell Pierce comes out. I'm more worried about their creatures than I am their spells, and this gets shut off by Chalice. Dismember has to stay in. It's a stay alive card. I'll bring in a Force of Negation. Could go down to 2 Tamiyo. She's not exceptional in this matchup. That allows me to bring in another Force of Negation and further mitigates the impact of Chalice if they keep it in, which they probably will. We showed them a lot of 1-drops. Alright, this hand has the Tamiyo flip combo with a Brainstorm, Dismember. We can do a lot of stuff with the 1 land that we have, but we do have to force a Chalice here, I feel like. Probably pitching Archmage Charm. Murktide, with the amount of stuff we're putting in our graveyard, Murktide is okay here. It just sucks if we get stuck on 1 land, but we're gonna get a land by virtue of being on the draw, or get a card, and we have effectively 23 lands that we're drawing to. If they have Blood Moon here, I'll just let it go through, I think. No. I mean, I do have Brazen Borrowers. I'll definitely stop a Fable. Fury is the pitch to the Mox. Okay, Chalice. I said I was going to counter this. I'm going to counter this. Let's go ahead and pitch Murk. It's the farthest off. Is that right, though? Pitch. We're going to have at least 2 things for Murk later. Yeah, I think I'm going to pitch like that. If they have Pyroblast, it'll be a huge beating, because they'll be able to use their Pyroblast under the Chalice, or before the Chalice hits. Okay, they didn't. I think I'm going to go ahead and Tommy this turn, and then next turn I Brainstorm Flipper. That does give my opponent an opportunity to kill her, but there's nothing. Oh, that's great. Yeah. They're down to 3 cards. So they'll draw their card for turn, and then we'll see what they have in store for us. Broadside could not kill Tommy currently. Unlicensed Hearse is... Yeah, it's kind of a pain, isn't it? We have to just bounce it back to hand later. All right, I'm losing about 40 or 50 seconds to the server lag, frustratingly. Okay, Lorien Revealed is land number 3. It's also a guaranteed shuffle after we Tommy here, which I think I am going to just try to go north with her. I realize that they can take her out with a Fury, but they've already put a Fury under. We may want to put Murktide back because I just don't think it's ever going to work. Not with that out. Scalding Tarn does damage to us, whereas Lorien Revealed does not. So this flips. We can have end step Lorien Revealed. Yeah, there's no reason to ever minus because they can just eat. If they make this into a creature to attack us, for some reason, then I can dismember it. Saga. Pyro. The One Ring. Ah! Okay, so we already know the top cards of our deck are no good. How do we beat the One Ring? I think we just have to wait and bounce it. Yeah, there's like Brainstorm, there's a very low chance that I would find a force effect. I've got 5 forces, and I would get to see 2 fresh cards. This game's not looking good for us. I think this might be the first appearance of the One Ring in this series of me playing with Mono Blue. So we've been lucky so far. Other than not trying a Fury or something to disrupt us, or very... I'm going to plus. I'm not going to brainstorm here because it puts even more food under the hearse. If we ultimate and draw half our deck, I do feel like we can win. Because we'll just have like so many Brazen Borrowers. We'll bounce all their stuff back to their hand. Alright, they draw their cards. These Urza Saga constructs are going to be scary. We need to find a dress down stat. Also, you can dress down hearse. If they activate hearse, it becomes a 0/0 and dies. They've got a ton of mana over there. They're just pitch casting to hit our Tommy. I think I'm going to start with this. Well, if I brainstorm into a Fury, then it just doesn't die. It sticks around, which is in many ways like worse than just letting it hit my Tommy. I think I just let it hit my Tommy. This card disadvantage. Not that it's like that big of a deal when they are drawing like, I don't know. Oh, they're going to crew here. All right. Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that they could crew there. That's unfortunate. So I'll wait for them to tap it and then I'll just dismember it. And because of the server lag, I'm like really low on time. I'm worried about game 3. They're down to 2 cards. We did get rid of their powerful sideboard card. Another One Ring? I don't see how that really helps you. Now lets you tap Ancient Tomb without taking damage. Okay. They're just going to draw through it. So they're just using it as a cantrip. That's fine. All right. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. Force Negation. Okay. Plus here. Brainstorm main phase. Let's find a... Oh, Dress Down is great. These are insane cards. I think we could probably put back Dismember, but we might regret it. Borrower is great because it answers... yeah, I don't really want to get rid of any of these cards. I'll put the Dismember back and Borrower back. Now what I can do is I'll just play with this land and they're going to spend a bunch of mana creating this Urza Saga and then I can just dress down. Again, all this is using so much clock. I'm more worried about my clock than I am my opponent, which might sound kind of crazy because my opponent has a One Ring out, but I do feel like we're in a really strong position here. Every time I pass priority, it's like 6 or 7 seconds off my clock. And I can't F6. It's fine. Take the ping here. Okay, I'm not going to risk them, or I'm not going to worry about them needling this. I think that'd be a bad use of... I don't know if Moon Stompy decks even play Pithing Needle. Come on, make the dude. You know you want to. Okay, they got that. They opted not to make the dude, which is disappointing. 5 cards in the grip. Tamiyo Spirit Guide. I feel like I'm waiting on my opponent, but I'm actually waiting on the server. Oh. This is a force. Just generates too much value. It was a 2 for 2, but they are drawing tons of cards here. Shock it in. Bolt it in. You need that mana. Okay, that gets rid of their land. They did bolt it in. They're getting greedy here. That's fine. That sucks. They're going to try to throw this at me. So we're going to dress down so they can't attack or anything. So this goes to the grave. We can Murk next turn for a 5/5. But then they can just throw the ring at it. What's the other card on top of my deck? Oh my goodness, I can't remember it. And I'm going to go ahead and fetch. Oh, I feel like it was a Dismember. Yeah, it was Dismember. And that's great for me. So I can Dismember this. And then... So I'll fetch first. Hopefully they won't be wise to the fact that I'm about to do multiple things in a row. Because they could totally Soul Guide Lantern me if they're focused. Yep, they are. Let's get the island. I'm going to chill till their turn cycle with both of these up. We're not going to be able to get the Murk in, unfortunately. We're going to have to beat them down with the Borrower. But I could Dismember and Borrow in the same turn cycle. If they tap that Tomb, it's probably lethal for them. Dismember has been so good in this match. Like for this deck. Oh, 7 minutes. Come on. If I can win this game, I might be able to win. If they have another One Ring, they can reset the One Ring. I'm going to wait till the very end step, and then I'll flash in my Borrower. That way I can get in a hit. Another Urza Saga. Another Mox. It's a lot of mana. They're going to Hardcast of Fury. Oh, man. Come on. My heart is beating. This freaking server lag. It's like running with like a whole bunch of weights on yourself. If you've ever done that before, you're like trying to train for some sort of event and you put a bunch of those weights on. We did it. 2 trophies in a row. 2 trophies in a row. I don't think I've ever done that before. Oh my goodness. This deck is freaking cracked. I love it. I love this deck. This deck, $600 deck. I'm gonna freaking leave all my expensive dual lands in China at my in-laws' house, and I'm gonna go to freaking Japan with nothing but a bunch of islands. That way I don't have to worry about them losing them. I mean, like, that's how I'm feeling after this. Like, I brought like 4 underground seas, a bunch of trops, a bunch of like all nice FBB stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna play all these awesome like fancy decks with like Beanstalk and Blue Like Tefo, and like, no, I think I'm gonna just play this. My goodness, this is so good. So changes. Piracy Charm. It might be a sideboard card, but it is definitely not a main deck card. Like, this is the freaking main deck card. Dress Down was clutch the entire freaking league. How many times did we just completely change the game with Dress Down? Dress Down is awesome. There's no way. Hang on, my wife's calling me. Hopefully she's calling to congratulate me. Yeah, she's like, what if? But it's one of those things. Like other legacy players, they are going to understand. They're getting 2 trophies in a row with a freaking budget deck. Very, very cool. So, I don't really have a lot to say about the deck other than that I do think the Dress Downs should be main. We're going to get like a ban announcement in like 48 hours. So we'll see what that says. And that might free up some sideboard space. But like, I really wish I could get another Dress Down in here. Like, the card has just been so good that I want to play 3. You could trim a Spell Pierce. I don't think we want to trim Archmage Charm because that's like our unfair advantage is that we're playing triple blue, that we can reliably hit this even with a freaking Blood Moon out. We Archmage Charmed. That was pretty sweet. The deck just always has blue mana. Like, I've never played a blue deck where I felt like even like somewhat favored against Moon Stompy. But I do feel like with our basics and stuff, like, and the fact that we play such a long game, we can just laugh off like Planisphere was cast against us. Yeah. So, I mean, you could go down to Spell Pierce if the meta becomes less toxic after the bans. Yeah, maybe we could go down to 3 Spell Pierce and we could just play a 3rd Dress Down. I don't know. Like, I think probably I would play like this, and then these Piracy Charms, we didn't ever cast one. Oh, wait, we did. We killed a Baleful Strix. That wasn't bad. It was still like a pretty pathetic, like, 1 for 2. As killing Baleful Strix always feels bad. But like, if you're killing it with something that can just barely kill it, it feels less bad than like bolting it or, plowing it or something. The other observations I have is that Archmage Charm just continues to impress me. I saw this card and I was just like, the first time I ever saw this card, I was just like, what? I've never even heard of this card. This card's awesome. Like, I love multimodal spells. I love Witherbloom Command. I love Kolagon's Command. And Cryptic Command I thought about playing. I actually thought about playing Cryptic. I don't think it's good enough. I just don't think in Legacy you're ever going to be wanting to spend 4 mana to counter a spell. But 3 mana, sure. I think that's not atrocious. That's like how much it costs to counter a spell in Modern, right? Actually, Modern, they may have access to counter spell. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling, but I'm really stoked to have trophied yet again with this very blue deck. Tamiyo was definitely a net positive addition. If she doesn't get banned, because she's now played, I believe she's the most played creature in Legacy, and I speculated when I first went to Japan last year and Modern Horizons 3 had just come out, and I picked up my Japanese retro frame frogs, and then I paid a fortune to get my 4 Tommies. At the time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to play a lot with these cards because I feel confident that both of these cards are going to be banned within 18 months. And I think that's probably going to bear out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Tamiyo got banned. She's just such a pain to deal with. And it's just a turn 1 play that, like, goes on to dominate the game. Like, even though she didn't do anything really that game, she debuffed. Actually, I don't think the debuff, they never got a hit through. That final game, she did literally nothing but sit there. Well, she absorbed a Fury. So I guess she was a 2-for-1 in that regard. We did crack the clue, so she was a, card neutral. But 3 mana to be card neutral is not a great rate. But in a lot of games, she was a lot better, right? I don't think we ever ultimated her, but just the threat of ultimating her is pretty powerful against a lot of these decks. So the only other observation I have about the deck is that I went up to 9 lands and I went down to 8 fetches. And I think that's fine because, like, we're paying life to Dismember. And really the fetches are just there to shuffle Brainstorm. That's, like, the primary purpose of fetches. Like otherwise, you just play all islands. But it is nice to be able to get the Mystic Sanctuary. And Mystic Sanctuary did come up several times. Like, I was seriously thinking about cutting it. I was like, I don't know. We got Tamiyo to return stuff from our graveyard. You know, do we really? No, we do. We want to be getting Archmage Charm back. We want to be getting Dismember back. Like, I think 3 Dismember was fine. I didn't miss it. We always want to draw, like, 1, unless it's a true creatureless deck. So, and I can imagine, like, situations where you draw 3 of them and you're just like, this is too much Dismember. We do have Brainstorm to put stuff back. But yeah, I think 3 is correct, and then ideally 3 dress downs, because dress down is almost kind of like removal. I mean, it is literal removal for a lot of stuff, but it's practical removal. One of the cool things about dress down is you can dress down when you have a Brazen Borrower out, and it takes away this can only block creatures with flying text, and it basically makes it so this can trade with most of the format, which is pretty cool. Brazen Borrower is just like the workhorse, like kind of unsung hero of the deck. Obviously, Murk is doing most of the killing. Brazen Borrower did get the kill in that final game there. Like, they would have been at 1. They didn't need to concede, but maybe they just are like, oh, I have no way to get rid of this ring. Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe they were thinking, oh, Tamiyo is going to ultimate soon, and like they were just feeling really far behind. But I don't think they were actually that far behind. I think they could have probably activated the ring one more time, tried to find a ring, and then played the ring, and then survived at 1 life for a while until they found like another Fury. Yeah, but I guess their superpower of being able to draw tons of cards ends once they are no longer able to tap the ring. So yeah, I don't know. But like also there was a premature concession. If I recall correctly, someone made some punt and they just, it was the Painter player. They punted and I think they were still in a pretty strong position. So we did get lucky a little bit this league. You have to get lucky to trophy, unless you're just playing like Blue-Black Reanimator. I think Blue-Black Reanimator is so much stronger than all the other decks. You can just cruise through and get 5-0s. And I think that used to be the case with like Oops All Spells. But now everybody knows that you just like to beat Oops All Spells, you just mull until you have a Grafdigger's Cage and you have a Force, and then you're gonna win probably. But like there was a while when people were still adapting, like why am I losing when I'm Surgicaling? Why am I losing when I have Fairy Macabre? You know, why am I losing when I have Force? Like it took people a while to realize how good Oops All Spells was and how squirrely it was, but now I just have like this simple algorithm that I follow to beat it. And same thing with like Necrodominance. Basically just mull till you have ideally 2 Forces, and then you just stop them, and then they die to their pact. And yeah, like I said earlier, that is a matchup that can basically be played by a toddler. Like I genuinely think you could take like a 2-year-old, you could sit them down and say, when you see this, click this, and like walk them through how to beat Necrodominance. That is to say, that's not to say that you won't lose games to it occasionally. I don't want you to feel like an idiot when you lose games against it. A lot of times you lose against Oops and you did nothing wrong. It was Spock who said sometimes you can lose and commit no wrong plays. That is not. All right, and the quote is actually from Captain Jean-Luc Picard, my favorite captain. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness. That is life. So remind yourself of that when you're losing to Oops, if it doesn't get banned for some reason. When you're losing to Necrodominance, if people continue to play it even though it sucks. When you're losing to just like stuff that's out of your control, it is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness. That is life. I'll leave you with that. This has been an absolute blast. I hope until next time, you be excellent to each other and party on.